Hi and welcome to another gaming video. And in today's video I want to talk about, well, first of all, game updates. Now, modern gaming, as you know, I'm not a fan of, and a lot of that is because I feel that they just release these games half-assed and then expect you to sit through hours of game updates even before you can play the game, especially when it comes to something like the Xbox One and the PS4. Some of the game updates are absolutely huge. I mean, look, my son bought Cyberpunk 2047 or 2057, whatever it is, for his Xbox, and it's like a 50 gig download to fix all of the problems. So I'm really ain't a fan of game updates. I tend to play with a lot of older consoles. I've got a 3DS and I've got a PS Vita. Those are pretty much the only consoles I have that use game updates, and they're not very big. The 3DS game updates are tiny, they take a few minutes to install. The Vita, a little bit bigger. I started proper gaming, well, I've always been a gamer, and then it dropped off, and then I got into the PS3, and that doesn't have huge game updates, with the exception of something like GTA 5, but even then, that pales into significance for the PS4 version. The game updates for those are huge. So I was quite pleased when I picked up a Switch and a bunch of games and started to play them, and it says, oh, you've got an update. Okay. And they're tiny. Now, I don't know whether it's because the Switch itself is small. I mean, you've only got 32 or 64 gig internal storage, so you can't expect to be installing a 40 gig game. Most of the games, I mean, I downloaded Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. My wife had already purchased it on her account, so this was downloaded officially from the store, and that is about 10 gig. That's it. That's about as big as a game as you're going to get. If you're installing it from a cartridge, which I also did, I think it puts about 1 gig on your Switch, and the rest obviously runs from the cartridge, and then there is a small game update, but it's tiny. I've installed about 20 games on the Switch, and about half of those had a game update, all of which were installed within a few minutes. They are tiny, and it is one of the only things that I can say I like about the Switch. I really cannot stand going out, buying a game, and then having to wait 3 hours, 5 hours, sometimes even longer for a game update to come in. It kills the whole passion for buying the game. I want to go out, buy a game, put it in, possibly install it from the disc, which shouldn't take too long, and then play it. You know, go out, come home, put it in, within half an hour at the longest, I want to be playing that game. And it's one thing that I do like about the Switch. Smaller games, smaller updates, and they just take a few minutes. So there really isn't much else to say. I mean, there isn't much in this video apart from I want to praise the Switch for not having huge games in the beginning. I think the biggest Switch cartridge you can get is 64 gig, and that only came out in 2021. Previous to that, all Switch cartridges were a maximum of 32 gig. That's nothing in comparison to what you can fit on a Blu-ray disc, which you get in things like the PS4. They can hold gigabytes of storage. So Switch games are small. It would be really interesting to see how something like Doom or Doom Eternal, which are games from the PS4 and the Xbox One, I'm assuming they are huge games on those systems, what the install size would be on a PS4 versus the version on the Switch. That is something I might check out, because yeah, Doom Eternal, they are all big games. There are some other games like Wolfenstein 2, maybe, I don't know, the Crysis trilogy. That's 3 games that they squeeze onto one cartridge. But we're talking here about game updates, and it's a pleasure. It's great to see that you just pop in your little cartridge, installs the base game, the rest is run from the cartridge, and if there's an update, it's done within minutes. I can't think of any game that I've installed on a Switch from a cartridge that has then needed an update that has taken a long time. So hats off, thank you Nintendo for at least releasing a console that doesn't rely on gigabytes of system updates and game updates before you even play the game. So yeah, Switch game updates are tiny. Excellent. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.